really thankful and grateful for that 250th birthday party we did last week. Yeah. Just all the work that the campus put in, and the students who came out, and the fans and the faculty. That was just an awesome event. The guys still talking about it, and just a lot of fun.
Hey Lions fans, welcome into another edition of the Coaches Show. We're here this week with Coach Trask, our baseball coach. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Vinny.
So coming off of last weekend, really good series against Cumberland's Kentucky.
Yeah.
Didn't go quite the way we wanted to, but just talk about that series and how you feel coming off of that about the season.
Yeah, it was a super competitive series up there in Williamsburg. It's always a tough place to play. They have a very, very good offense. They have really good starting pitching and quality bullpen. So tough opponent for sure, and we battled with them throughout the whole way. Colton Bryant threw just an amazing ball game in game 2 of the series. Went complete game and just really held their powerful offense at bay, and we were able to do enough offensively to get that win. So Colton Bryant, just tip of the cap to him. He threw so well, and our other guys they pitched and competed very, very well too. It was just they just got a little bit more than what we had that game, or those two games. But overall, it's just a fantastic series. We're matched up really well with them, and looking forward to hopefully getting an opportunity to play them again in Bowling Green.
Yeah, so conference tournament coming up. We got one more series this weekend, so we don't want to look ahead too much. But that series versus Cumberland really seemed to sort of set the standings for how it's going to be in the tournament. So talk about, since we lost that second game Saturday, we're going to be probably the number 2 seed. Just talk about what the biggest differences are as you go into that conference tournament, being the 1 or the 2.
Yeah, the 1, they have a good advantage because they're going to play the winner of the play-in game, the 6-7. So their first night out, their 1 is going to be able to face at least the number 2 from a team that wasn't very good in league play anyway. So they have a really good opportunity to win that first game, and then they'll play the loser of the 3-4. So they're in a good spot to slide into game 3 of the tournament, somewhat unfazed by some lower competition and some lesser pitching. That puts them in a good spot. I think the 2 seed, we got a good draw, because if we can win that 2, that moves us forward and gives us an opportunity to play the winner of that 3-4 matchup. And so we've had success against these teams. We know these teams. And then, winning game 2 is so very important to me at Bowling Green. That's been something we haven't been able to do the past few years. So that's been a thread through our season of, let's win game 2. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity. But yeah, the 1 got a clear advantage. But hopefully if everything pans out, we win a couple games, we'll get a chance to play them in game 3 of the tournament. So.
And then you just mentioned, the advantages of even being the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
Talk about how a double elimination tournament differs in baseball from a single elimination tournament in basketball.
Sure.
Right. So you get a little less maybe luck involved, or one play maybe makes a difference.
Right. The double elimination setup is, in baseball tournaments, it always comes down to pitching. Like who has length in their bullpen and who has length and depth in their staff to be able to hold offenses at base. Because once you start getting to, far into the conference tournament, far into an opening round, everybody's offense is really good. So it's like, who can, give up 1 or 2 runs in an inning instead of letting something get away and give up a 3 or a 4 run inning. And that just, over the course of a ball game, the depth of pitching is what creates a good tournament for you. I think in basketball, you go out there that night, or and you play, and then the next night the same guys are playing.
Right. In
baseball, the guy that Colton Bryant helps us win that game at Cumberland's, he can't pitch game 3. The next game, what I mean? I mean, we might be able to throw him a couple innings as we get lower, but
is your arm still sore?
Right. But no, like, you're not going to have that same horse on Saturday that you did on Friday.
Right.
Whereas in hoops or other single eliminations, they get that opportunity barring injury. Those same guys are going to be playing the next night.
So do we have, how do you feel about our pitching going into double elimination tournament, given how important you feel like it is?
I love our staff this year. They have done a tremendous job of filling up the zone, pitching to contact, getting their strikeouts when they can, but just really forcing the opponents to earn it. The times we've struggled this year has been when we lose the zone. We can't command our fastball or our secondary pitch, and we're giving guys free bases, and then they're getting a couple cheap hits. But if we command the zone and make teams hit, we have success. That's just what our pitching staff does well. That's what we're built around. But we have depth inside of our pitching staff. We can trust 8 to 10 guys throughout a given weekend that can go in and give us valuable innings and quality innings and really pitch to contact, like I mentioned. So I'm excited about going into a tournament with this much depth on the pitching staff. Just a lot of guys who've been tested and tried throughout the spring that they've been looking forward to moments like this coming up.
And then, you've got to feel really confident about our offense.
Yeah.
We were just talking before, maybe one of the better offenses that Freed has had in the last 10 years or so, home runs, doubles, things like that.
Yeah.
So just, more than other seasons. So just talk about how you feel about our offense.
Yeah, offensively, we're just very dynamic. We can beat you in a lot of different ways. That was something we did really, really well this past weekend against a Cumberland's team. So they have the power numbers, like they can really produce runs and waves, and it can happen quick. Our offense can do that as well, but we can also get you with small ball, and we can steal some bases, and we're very dynamic on the paths and the way we run our offense. So we're not just banking on that long ball. Those are really good when we get them. We love them, absolutely. But we can beat you in more ways than just one. So I think that type of offense really plays in a big yard at Bowling Green, and up against some really good arms to where we can manufacture some things that other teams may struggle with and maybe even struggle to defend us on. So I love the speed, the power, also the length of our lineup. We're very solid 1 through 9.
Yeah. So, and we talked before, you said we're 67 home runs on the year, which is getting close to a number we've had more than the last few years. But then how many stolen bases? How many guys with stolen bases? You were talking about that before.
Yeah, so a handful of guys with 10-plus bags. So getting double-digit stolen bases is a good feat, a good goal to go into a season and get. And we have a handful of plus guys doing that. As a team, we've got 144 stolen bases with a really good percentage on that. So we haven't been caught. As many times as some of the other teams that have those high numbers with us. So we're running in good spots. We get a little aggressive at times, and we'll run ourselves out of innings. But I feel like those types of mistakes throughout the course of the year, now we've learned that. We get to Bowling Green. We know when to be aggressive. We know maybe when to pump the brakes a little bit. So it's like those types of mistakes that happen throughout the course of the year build us and teach us. That's the best teacher in the world. We can practice it all day, but until it happens in a game, it does not hit as good right there. So it's like I feel like we're doing a really good job of stealing bases, but we've also done a good job of learning our limits and our boundaries this spring too.
And then you mentioned something else. Is the Bowling Green stadium where we're going to play, is that bigger than some? It's hard to hit home runs there?
Sure. It's a big yard. It's I don't know the dimensions exactly, but it's bigger than a lot of fields we play in. I want to say it really compares well to the field we played at down at Gwinnett, Georgia Gwinnett's field. Maybe a little shorter, but that's a big outfield. So we have really good speed in the outfield. We have guys that can go get it. We're a gap-to-gap type hitting team anyway. So and then stretching singles into doubles. So I just think a bigger yard, we will travel well to that big yard.
Okay. What else? Anything else you're want to say? Let everybody know about the season.
Excited about this weekend going into a tough Cumberland team. We do every week. We'll do like a history of where we fall in line with the teams we're playing, and we're 30-66, I believe. That goes back to 1985 with Cumberland. They have been a very, very good team and a powerhouse, and they're full of talent. Like they're going to be a great test for us going into the tournament, and then we'll see them again in the tournament most likely too. So just really excited the opportunity to go there, play at Woody Hunt Field, and just where a lot of history and tradition has been built, and go play them. So excited about that. Always a really tough competitor. So would love to see that new record go 33 and 66, right? And then we're getting on that where we've almost played them 100 times, so maybe conference tournament will be our 100th game program against program, and that's really cool. There's some cool history in that. And then, the last thing, just really thankful and grateful for that 250th birthday party we did last week. Just all the work that the campus put in, and the students who came out, and the fans and the faculty. That was just an awesome event. The guys still talking about it, and just a lot of fun.
That was really neat to create that kind of atmosphere where I'm not sure how many games have that many people at it, right? That you guys play.
That had to there was, I think, a little over 1,000 counted people. It's probably more than that even.
Because people were coming and going. Sure.
So we talked about this a lot in the build-up. These guys, they don't get an opportunity to play in that type of environment very much, and to be able to do it at home with the people that they know and love, it was special. And for us to get that win, we beat them 7-6, which is a cool number, for America and everything. And we hit a couple home runs. We did some small ball. That was just a really, really cool night. Joe Romines and Justice Smart come in. Sanchez had a good start. It was just we played a really good game, and we just got an opportunity to be in front of that crowd. So it was cool to showcase it like that.
Yeah, it was. There's no baseball homecoming. Right.
Sure.
There's a basketball homecoming game every year. Then we can make that kind of a tradition.
I would love that. Even maybe we don't have as much America stuff. You know what I mean? Because maybe that won't play as well. But I just think there's so many cool things we can do throughout the course of the year. We just need to get that good weather like we had that night.
So there'll be a nice weekend in April every year that we can have the fireworks game and a party out on the thing. Yeah.
That was fun. Fun. So we just got to, this spring has been super dry, you know what I mean? But I just worry about planning an event like this on a Tuesday in the spring around here.
An outside event.
It's a gamble, you know what I mean, for sure. But no, it was just really grateful for everybody who supported that. That was unbelievable.
Okay, well we'll put the call out to the Lions fans out there. We need some planning done on how to make that happen.
That was fun.
Even maybe if it's going to rain. Well,
sure.
We'll think about that.
Bring your ponchos.
Okay. Well, thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.
Maybe we'll talk again once more before the conference tournament.
That sounds great. Thanks, Vinny.
Be sure to follow us on our social media channels to stay up to date on everything going on in FHU Athletics. Check out our website for all the latest information. And go Lions.
Go Lions.